Okay. Good morning. It's Tool Time Tuesday. We're on session 89, um, believe it or not, and we're going to talk about the new Outlook. I wanted to give a special shout out to Anna Lewandowski for always helping us and answering questions about all the crazy questions about Office 365. Thank you for that. And I want to thank Brooke Andrus as well because she gave us some tips and things that she's worked on in the new Outlook as well. So shout out to her as well. It's always a team effort. I am Laura Scan. My co-host is Leslie Moore. We're from the library. If you haven't joined us before, you can find us online on Inside, type in library, or you can Google us at MD Anderson Library. We're here to answer questions. Please reach out about any of your writing and publishing, literature searching, resource needs. It's Black History Month, and there's a lot of great events going on. So please check out Inside. There is a story posted today to outline the events coming up. And of course, they're on the institutional calendar as well. We also have the Black History Month Libby collection. So if you want to read or listen to some great books, please check that out too. And without further ado, because we have a short amount of time, we're jumping into the new Outlook. Dun, dun, dun. So I just want to let everyone know the new Outlook is here. I realize some of you are on it, some of you are not on it. We're going to go through some of the changes, and we're going to keep learning together about all the things happening. So don't panic. We're here. We're in it together. And I apologize. I'm getting over getting sick. So just to let you know, the new Outlook, if you haven't looked at it yet, it basically mirrors the online version of Outlook. So if you were already using the online version, then kudos to you because you're a step ahead. Please be aware this is the future. It will eventually be pushed to all of us. Most likely, we're guessing before the end of the calendar year based on some of the documentation we looked at online. But we don't exactly know. So you're going to want to test it out, try it out. Be sure to crowdsource your questions and answers on the Tool Time Tuesday team. I can't emphasize enough how much we've helped one another by asking questions and just sharing. If you called for info and you found a solution, share that on the Tool Time Tuesday team because that will help another person. So to begin, we've all seen the toggle. It's in the upper right-hand corner. The new Outlook you can toggle on. And I've screenshot the little toggle button up here. One thing to note before you toggle over is your signatures are not going to transfer over with you. So you might want to make a copy of your signatures in a Word file before you toggle to the new Outlook. Don't panic because you can toggle back to the old Outlook and get them as well. Also, you could go to one of your sent emails, you could copy them. There's lots of things you can do, but your signatures are not necessarily going to transfer. So you can also go to the online version of Outlook and you can update your signatures there, and that should transfer to the desktop version as well, the new desktop version. So most changes you make to the new Outlook are going to translate to Outlook Online because the goal is for us to be able to travel with the same Outlook everywhere. So don't panic about your signatures. All right. So another key thing to remember is where are your settings in Outlook, because this is going to change a lot of things for you. You don't have to just accept the way it looks. There's a couple things you can change. Your settings are going to be in the gear icon in the upper right-hand corner of Outlook. So get used to this gear icon. It is your friend. When you click on it, it pops open a nice little window and the settings are searchable. So you do not have to dig through all these menus. You can search the settings and find what you need. So this is very handy. And we're going to look at a couple settings. Okay, so Anna reminded me there are a couple people who don't have the new Outlook toggle. It's still coming. Some people are still getting updated. Don't forget to reboot your computer at least once a day to see if updates are here. And I'm sorry if you don't have the toggle yet. So what can you change in your settings? A couple things that stuck out to us immediately was you might want to change the font. the font can really change, the font size and the actual font can change the readability of your email. So it's very easy to go in settings, search for fonts, and customize that to what you need it to be. Um, you might also want to change your customize actions. So these all have very similar names, but you can search for customize actions. What this is the little tiny icons that show up in each email in the upper right-hand corner of each email, things where you would reply or forward really quickly. Some of these are just naturally here, which is great. But one that's missing is the MD Anderson report fish button, or it was missing for me. So you can go to customize actions and you can check the boxes for what tiny icons you want to show here. What actions do you like to take quickly from an email? And that can save you a little bit of time. So MD Anderson report fish button is absolutely tiny. I don't even know what that icon is. Um, it's kind of strange, but that's the report fish button. That is, once you set it up, it's in every single email so you can report fish. That's the only way I know in the new Outlook to add the report fish button. Oh, it does look like a fish hook. Thank you. It's so tiny. I thought it was like a little, it kind of looks like angel wings or devil something. I don't know. Fish hook makes way more sense. So thank you. But you can check any of these actions so the icons appear for you. So keep that in mind. Another thing that we always preach in tool time, I don't know if preach is the right word, is notifications. We don't want you to be overwhelmed by notifications. You are not required to receive every single notification. So go to settings, take a look at your notifications. You can turn off the sound so you don't get the ping every time. You can choose a little bit about where the pop-up is going to come up when there's notification. You could have the sound only play for like your favorite people. So your favorite people might be like your boss. You want that one to notify, but none of the others. Check your notifications and set them for yourself. There's mail, calendar, and documents. The mail and calendar are the most important ones. They're pretty straightforward to change. Quick actions. So the other thing is when you receive email in your message list, this is a new message, you have these tiny icons as well. You can modify these in your settings as well to show the ones that you like the most. Like flag was already there, pin was already there. So those may be things you do quickly from an email, but you may want to change these. So you can search for quick actions and settings, and you could do things like have the mark as read or unread button there, move to a folder or archive. They're kind of limited, but you wouldn't want a ton of icons here anyway. It would crowd it. Just whatever your quick action from an email is. So someone asked, will the rules that I have set in mail transfer over? My rules transferred over. I don't know if anyone else had a different experience with that. I didn't have any trouble with my rules transferring over. Okay, someone said their rules transferred, but they weren't all editable for them. That's interesting. Okay, we also want you to think about customizing your ribbon. My ribbon was driving me nuts. So the ribbon at the top of your email, and you can customize that. Again, if you open your email, there's just a ... all the way over to the right. It's hard to see in the screenshot, but I am going to share the slides after. The ... has a drop down that you can choose to customize. These are the things that are showing up in your ribbon right now. You can X them out if you want. You can drag and drop them to move them around. You can pull one from this list up here in the order that you want. So there's a lot of flexibility on organizing your ribbon. One pro tip might be for you to uncheck all the boxes and then just drag and drop the ones you like in the order you like them. You could go back and change it again if you don't, if you forgot something. But these are the things that you use the most in the ribbon and in the order that you use them. For me, I couldn't find the undo button and it was way over to the right. So I was able to move my undo button a little bit closer to where it's in my line of sight better. So check out your ribbon and customize that as well. We got a lot of questions about where is the shared inbox? The shared inbox is on the left-hand side. All your shared inboxes are collapsed here under shared with me. I have not noticed any major drama with the shared inboxes yet. I don't know if anyone else has. I'm kind of scared to ask that, but shared inboxes are collapsed under shared with me. So someone asked, what is the sweep? The sweep one, we looked at that last time, Leslie. It deletes all the emails in that chain. So if you have if you have an email chain and you want to get rid of all of them, just clean out the inbox, you can click the sweep button in Outlook and it will delete all of those in that email chain. Where's the address finder? Leslie, do you know that one?
Oh, it's under
lift-
people. So if later in the session, oh yeah, so on the left-hand side, the third icon is people. And then that should be your directory up at the very top. If you don't have them in your contacts, you can still find somebody. So if you were looking up Dr. Pisters, for example, you should be able to enter Pisters and then it should find Dr. Pisters.
Okay, I don't want to email Dr. Pisters.
Let's not
Okay.
email Dr. Pisters.
Cool. Okay. Is the sweep similar to the cleanup folder function? Yes, except it's just for that that line of emails. So if you've got copied in on a chain that like maybe wasn't helpful for you, or it's over and you're done with that and you don't need to keep the emails, you can click sweep and it should clean them up. Okay. Sorry, I was looking at the questions. So, okay. So someone said they don't get emails in real time to my shared inboxes. The number appears, but it doesn't show the emails. I've had a couple of people mention that to me as well. If you shut down Outlook and restart it, that should help, but that's not a long-term solution. I'm not sure if that's because I don't know if that's a server issue, but definitely something that you should report to 4info. Okay. Okay, so there's a lot. So we're going to come back to questions. Don't let me lose them, Leslie.
I'm trying to answer as we go. There are a lot of questions.
Okay. Snoozed emails. So last time we talked about snoozing an email. You can quickly snooze an email. There's a button in the ribbon. Of course, you can move the button around the ribbon, but you can also right click to snooze an email. Snoozed emails go into a snoozed folder on the left-hand side. You can actually choose a date and time when you want it to return. So this is something like you don't have time to deal with it right now. You're going to say, I want to handle this. I want to wait till 5 o'clock, or I want to wait till tomorrow to handle this. It will return to your inbox at the time that you select when you snooze it. So that's what it does. It just goes away from your inbox until you've told it to return, and it'll just come back in as a new email. So that's one way to kind of, deal with a message later if you need to. Okay. The other thing that we got a lot of questions about were like tasks, flags, things like that. This is definitely different. So we wanted to show you that. You now have what's known as a My Day section of Outlook. This is combining your tasks and your calendar, and it's part of To Do. I don't know if you remember, we looked at To Do a long time ago. But it's actually, I think, can be pretty helpful. In the upper right-hand corner of Outlook, there's a little icon, a little check icon, and this is your to-do list that pops up. A little window pops up and you can actually get to your calendar and your to-do list, whichever one you tab to. What To Do does is allows you to create daily task lists. So the default list is just called tasks, as you see in the screenshot. You can click the plus sign and you can add a task for yourself. So this is you writing a to-do list for yourself. You can also switch to some other lists. There's a My Day list. There's a planned list. You can create custom lists. There's also a flagged emails. So any emails you flagged, you could switch to in this drop-down menu. This was hidden a little bit to me. Took me a second to get used to. Under the calendar section, you can view your current calendar, and it is combined with your to-dos as well. So that's the default, is for your calendar and your to-dos to be combined together. You can toggle off your to-dos if you want. You can click on the little ... and you can uncheck the tasks, and your to-dos won't show up in that calendar preview there. So that's what that right-hand pane is for. It does even more than that as well. If you want another way to create a task for yourself in My Day is to just drag and drop any email. If your email, you want to make a task out of it, you drag it over to the right-hand panel. You can create an event, which is literally a calendar entry, or you can add it as a task. So you can also, when you add it as a task, you can set a reminder for yourself. So this is definitely a little bit different than the old Outlook, but you can right click and you can set a reminder on the task. So let's say, again, that's something you need to go back to later in the week. You can set a reminder to pop up later in the week for yourself. Have I missed any big questions, Leslie?
Not so, I mean, we have lots of questions, so
Yes.
keep on going and I'll answer and we'll get back to them as we go.
Okay. Okay, our tasks added on Outlook automatically added to the To-Do app. Yes, this should sync up with your To-Do app. So if you're using To-Do through Office 365 regularly already, your list should show up in here as well. How do you get rid of the pop-up notifications for your tasks? We'll have to look at that. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting, oh, for your emails. We'll have to look, we'll come back to that. Sorry. Sorry, there's so many good questions and I knew that would happen. And then I'm getting distracted by the questions because they're all relevant questions. And I know there's a lot. Let's talk for a second about flagged emails. So flagged emails are also under this My Day icon. So again, that same right-hand panel, you just have to change the list from tasks to flagged emails. So if you used flagged emails a lot to come back to things, that's where they go over here in the right-hand side. Once you select flagged emails, it's going to stick on flagged emails for you until you reselect tasks. So if you prefer to have your flagged emails be there all the time, you can check flagged emails and it'll pop up over on the right-hand side. You'll notice there's some other to-do lists here that I just created myself, and they're over here in the list as well. I could switch to those. You can right-click on any flagged email in the to-do pane to set a reminder for yourself, to set a due date for yourself, or to block time, which will create a calendar appointment. Like maybe if you need to block time to work on a project, you could, right-click on that flagged email and block some time on your calendar for that. All right. One thing that I thought was kind of nice in the new Outlook is opening an event. They've given you some better options and they've fixed some of the options that I thought were causing confusion in the last Outlook, the older version. If I have a meeting upcoming, it shows at the top of my Outlook up here. I can click on that meeting and the panel will open up to show me the meeting so I can preview what we're doing. I can click join if it's an online meeting right from the panel. So that reduces the amount of clicks. And it also is going to show recent communications between myself and this person. So that's kind of helpful because maybe I need to go back and review something before the meeting. Although it's a little bit of a mystery sometimes what's showing up here, but this actually helped me this time. Also, when you're in Outlook, you can hover over an event now and just choose join, and the join button should join the correct meeting, I believe. I don't know if anyone else has had trouble with it, but it's worked well for me. So it saves a little bit of clicking. Okay. So someone asked about grouping your emails.
Oh, I'm going to tell you right now, I hate the grouped conversations, but some people love them, so that's fine.
Okay.
So that's actually in your settings. You can group
Okay,
your by look up conversation. I think that's
it's conversation.
So message organization.
Oh yeah.
Right there. And then there's an option for the very first one is show emails grouped by conversation. And then that will actually collapse all of the messages that are supposed to go together.
I hate that view.
The view does not work for me, because here's the other thing with a new Outlook. Even the stuff that you've deleted, if it's not gone, it actually shows up in that grouped conversation still.
Ugh.
Yeah, but it's there. That's where you can find it.
Okay. I hope that answered it. But let us know if it didn't. Okay, let's talk about the calendar real quick a little bit more. So we talked about joining an event being a little bit simpler, hopefully, for you. For your calendars, it took me a second to look at this because it does look slightly different, but you have my calendars, and this is your primary personal calendar. It's just named calendar very handily under this section. You also have people's calendars, so you can pop that open and see any calendars that have been shared with you. And then there's other calendars like teams and planners calendars as well. So you have 3 sections, but the main one is your calendar and then your people's. You can add a calendar. So if you're missing someone and you want to add somebody's calendar so you can take a look at it, you can select add calendar at the top of my calendars. You can choose add from directory, and you have to select your own email here. I don't know why this tripped me up, but it did. But you select your own email here. Then you select the calendar you want to add. So I added Debbie here. And then I'm going to add it to people's calendars, which is my own. So this is how I get a calendar to show up for me in my Outlook so I can take a look at it. There are also calendar sharing permissions. If you hover over your calendar and go to ... the little ... will appear. You can go to sharing and permissions. This is who gets access to your calendar and how much access they get. So this is where you can say, you know, I want to add Leslie to my calendar and I want her to be a delegate, or I want her to be able to just see when I'm busy or actually view the titles and locations, all of those permissions there. There is something missing from the delegate section now that we solved last time in the old Outlook, and now it's missing. What was that, Leslie? I already forgot what it was. We're still going to have a delegate session. I promise. We're working on it. We're going to have a session for people who are using
not sending the delegate copies or something like that. That's
right.
what that was.
So there is no longer an option in the new Outlook to not send the delegate copies of every single item. There is an option in the old Outlook, but not the new one. So hopefully that's an addition they'll add. We are going to have a delegate session, I promise. So a couple things about what's missing. There is no longer conditional formatting, and the new Outlook. Actually, this is wrong. Right, Leslie? The flagged email reminders. It's different. The flagged email reminders are different now. They're not missing, but they're just different. And for some people, it's clunky. You cannot rearrange folders in your folder tree on the left-hand side. The advanced search is gone, and you can't work offline any longer. So most people don't use the offline option, but it was an option before that some people used for certain purposes, and you can't do that anymore. You are online all the time. There are a ton of items that are still missing. We found a Reddit where somebody did a list of all the things that they found that were missing. But you can also look at the roadmap for upcoming features that are coming out from Microsoft. So they are improving it. There are ways to offer feedback. There are things coming, and we'll keep reporting those things that are coming along the way. You can provide feedback, and Leslie and I are a big proponent of providing feedback. You can vote on features that you want to be added. So there's a feedback portal for Microsoft where you can vote and you can comment and you can say, I really need this to be added. It's important to me. Okay, questions, Leslie?
Okay, can you show the to-do list and then show the flagged emails where flagged emails is located? There
Flagged
it is.
Emails, right here. And then I can right click on them, and that's where I can
add a reminder.
Add a reminder, edit. In this case, I would edit the reminder because I already had one. I can remove the reminder. And I can set a new one. I can do a due date for it. There's quite a few things I could do with it.
Mhm. Okay. The question about grouping emails is, can you regroup your emails by receive date like in the older version? I haven't seen it. I know you can group by conversation, but I've not seen grouped by receive. You can sort, but I haven't seen the grouping part.
Grouped by received. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the pop-up notifications, Larissa, will you go into settings and go to notifications for a second?
Mm-hmm.
So you have a bunch of notifications, which Larissa talked about, but the other things that you have is at the top in the little gray box above all of those is you have the Windows notifications and a focus setting, and then you have battery saver as well. So these are all sort of interconnected, but the notifications on Outlook, like if you don't want any email notifications at all, just toggle that off completely and you won't get anything that's like, you have a new email every 5 seconds, especially if you get flooded with emails.
But you can also, turn the sound off.
Mhm. If you want to
Yeah,
favorite people, you could favorite people and only get notifications about emails that come to you from favorited people.
right. So we
Yeah.
showed that in the tip of the week today. This was just something that Leslie had found that was kind of neat, was that you can click on someone in your email. So somebody that you know, work with a lot, you can click on the dot 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 and you can add them to your favorites. I already have her in my favorites here, which means I have a list here of everything she sent me at the top. Not sure if that's useful for everyone, but it's just an option. Okay. What other questions do we have? Why can't we attach files to emails in the app? You should be able to attach files to emails. Has anyone
Yes.
else had that trouble? When you copy and paste a screenshot, you used to be able to double click on it to change the size. How do you do that in the new Outlook?
You shouldn't have to double click on it. You should be able to just grab a corner and resize it. That's what I've done. Actually, I've done that recently too.
I don't have an image to copy and paste right now. There is no outbox and no outbox and Outlook via web browser. I'd noticed this a while back when I had questions about emails I thought I'd sent. They were sitting in the Outbooks for days, but not sending. I had to go back to the old Outlook. There is no Outbooks. I keep saying it wrong. Outbox, because it's online all the time. Does that make sense? Like on the desktop version, there was an outbox because things were sitting for a little while before they were sent. Sometimes a few seconds, but there's no longer an outbox. It would just be your sent box, right, Leslie?
Right. That's what drafts is for. They've actually kind of combined drafts and
Oh, the
outbox.
drafts. Let's talk about drafts for just a second. Drafts, you could create drafts incredibly easy in the new Outlook. I don't know why. But what you can realize is what you might realize is at the bottom here, anytime you start a new one, it goes to the bottom here. So if I click off into another email, I can go back to that draft. It's always at the bottom there. It's also in the drafts folder, but I have created so many drafts on accident. I don't know why or how, but just keep in mind things are maybe living in your drafts that haven't been sent yet. Okay.
We have a question about, I live in my executives' calendars. How can I see their calendar in the viewing pane when I receive an invite for them?
Okay. We're going to have to
The
go ahead.
the viewing pane as in the right-hand pane where the calendar is, like on Larissa's schedule right now, you can actually add any number of calendars you want. If you were, Larissa, if you clicked on
Yes.
calendar for a second and clicked on the ellipsis and then any calendar she had access to, she would be able to actually check those and they would show up on that list, assuming that's what you really mean.
Okay, so someone else said, where's the option to convert to PDF?
I do not think that exists right now. So I am not the Microsoft expert, but I have been reading a bunch of stuff that said that one of the reasons why some of the third-party functionality has disappeared from Outlook at the moment, the new Outlook, is because they used to use what's called a COM add-in, and those are completely gone from new Outlook because the architecture of the software. However, they are working with various vendors to try to get the web add-ins back in place. So I don't know if that really answers that question.
Yeah, so a couple of people are reporting that they received new emails, but they're not showing up. That has happened to me as well. I don't know what to say about that. Other than to shut it down and restart it to see if the emails will actually show up. I'm hoping that is going to work itself out, but I don't have an answer for that. Someone asked, where do you set up the out of office notifications? That's also in your settings. I forgot what it's called. It's called
Automatic
something else.
replies, I
Automatic
think.
replies, yes.
And then that's where you set your out of office.
Nah, sorry. That was me, guys. That was me. Come on. This is
There
where
you
you
go.
set them up. I may have missed this at the beginning of the Zoom, but I've tried switching to the new Outlook using the try new Outlook toggle and nothing happens. It downloads and gives me the option to switch, but nothing changes. You may need an update. I'm not sure. You may still be waiting for an additional update. So just reboot every morning. Keep your computer on in the evening and reboot every morning, and hopefully you'll get it. I've gotten 2 updates. I don't know why, but it may be that you just don't have the full functionality yet. So if you see, try the new Outlook, you can still toggle to the old one as well. How did you get her name? My favorite shows up as their full email. I
We
don't
have
know
had
that
this problem.
either. Leslie and I couldn't figure out. Sometimes you add a favorite and it shows up as their email, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't have an answer, but the content is the same. So someone's having a hard time sending an attachment, but that may be a different, I'm not sure what that is. How can you view your calendar in schedule view? I'm not sure what schedule view is. Do you know, Leslie?
It was a view on the
old calendar?
on the classic Outlook. So there are only a handful of views available now.
So maybe that one is missing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We have a
we're gonna
ton of questions. We're gonna have to follow up.
I know. So we're gonna write down questions. We're gonna do another session. We're gonna work with Anna to see if we can also set up some sessions with the Microsoft people to talk more in depth, especially about the delegate issue. We just haven't gotten the right person pinned down yet, but we will.
Also, just to reiterate, yes, if you see the new toggle, the toggle for new Outlook or try new Outlook, you can still go back to old Outlook. So just FYI, you can still go back if you absolutely have to.
So if you're having issues with a shared calendar, that's probably a for info question, like why are people not able to edit and add, etc. I would ask for info that.
Someone asked about how many emails are in my current inbox. Unfortunately, that's missing as well.
So I'm curious about this attachment issue, Leslie, because a lot of people are having trouble with attaching things. Why are we
So
not?
I don't know. There's the little paperclip. Like when you start when you start an email, you should have a paperclip option, or you should be able to drag the attachment into the email as well. But are we talking attachments in meetings, or are we talking attachments in?
Oh, it's here.
Yeah.
It's right here. So you should be able to attach right here.
Yep. So if you're in a meeting, there's a little paperclip icon inside the body section. It's not very clear. It all kinds of blends in together. But yes, there's the attach from.
There's also a pop-up that you need to say, yes, send as an attached file instead of a link.
Okay.
If
So
you're
let me
not seeing that, I just dragged and dropped quick. And then in the body, you may need to maximize your screen in order for it to be an attachment. I got this last week. I got new Outlook last week. So it's possible there's even updates that you're seeing that I didn't. But if you don't see the option to add an attachment, you might look for that pop-up.
What does the pop-up say?
So when you drag a file, instead of selecting the file, if you were to drag a file onto the meeting,
Okay.
there usually is a pop-up that'll ask you, do you want to use this as a link? Because then what it'll do is it'll put it in OneDrive. And then, so it'll say, do you want to use this as a link or attachment? Which do you want to do?
Okay.
And that's what
So,
Anna's saying.
Meaning, or is it going to link to OneDrive, or is it just going to attach to the
Send
email
you the
as well?
file.
Okay. Is the email delay still an option? Yes. The
Oh yeah, I was going to have
delay
you show that.
is still an option.
So new message.
Sorry, I'm slow.
It's okay. You would write your message, and then you would check the little box next to send. And this is the part that's really weird, because you're going to schedule send. You'll pick the day and the time that you want to send it. And you have to have it, you basically have to have the email written and ready to go, because once you click send, it's going to move into your draft folder, and it's just going to sit there until it's ready to send.
Oh, wow. So did it send?
No, it's sitting in your drafts.
Because it's sitting
waiting.
in my drafts.
It'll be sitting in your drafts until it's ready to actually send at whatever time.
Your drafts, I guess, is your outbox. Oh my God, not your outbox now. I just like to call it an outbooks, guys.
You do.
Guys is okay. So when you copy and paste a screenshot, oh yes, we already got that one. Okay. Anything else I can? How do you add the ruler when composing a message? Ooh.
Ooh.
So.
But
oh man. So I did notice there's this drop down where you could go to classic ribbon versus simplified. So just to let you know, if you want to see all the little things, I don't know how to add a ruler.
Ruler, I don't think is available because you can't do rich text anymore. And that, don't quote me on this. I do not know for sure.
I think
because under the format text, I don't think they have the ruler option.
Yeah, you don't have the different options anymore.
So it's not like if you were using Word any longer. You can do plain text or you can do HTML, but I don't think that you get rich text. We have some stuff in Q&A too.
Oh my goodness, Leslie.
We have lots and lots of.
How much time do you have? Okay. Okay, I select try and it gets downloaded. Okay, so some people are just having trouble getting the new Outlook, so be patient. Is there a way to remove yourself as a delegate from someone? I think the only way is for you to ask them or ask for info to help you with that.
Yes. The Zoom meeting plugin is not gone. It's still there.
So when you go to your calendar.
Yeah, so when you go to your calendar.
It's right here. Add a Zoom meeting.
Yep.
And you can still look at your settings as well to take a look at this and change your settings. I
So
also,
is it the same way if you turn an email into a meeting? You know how when you go on your email,
Mhm.
your option, is it the same way to still add a Zoom link or a Teams link?
Yes. As far as I'm
yes.
aware, yes. So you should be able to like either reply with meeting, and then you would still get the same options that you would normally have for your meeting options, which is you could actually create it as a Zoom or a team meeting.
Wait, meeting. Here's reply with meeting. Yes, right there.
Yeah.
The other thing I like about this is that it does give you suggested times for when the people on your list are there. So it's looking at their Outlook calendars to tell you if everyone's available or not, which is kind of cool. I don't know if
So I
y'all.
have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the last time I scheduled some meetings for some of my faculty it was in-person meetings only. So, but it automatically gave me whenever, I didn't even notice and I sent it out and I didn't notice that it automatically puts the Zoom meeting in the bottom. Is there a way to take that automatically?
Is that the old Outlook that it's doing that?
No, the new one. I was trying the new one.
It automatically put a Zoom?
Yes, because I even sent it and then I looked at it
Yes.
back again and I'm like, oh no, it was just an
Yes.
in-person.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so in your settings,
Okay.
I don't remember what this is actually called. It's in it's something
Calendar?
about online meetings. So events you create, I think.
Let's look at that. Okay.
Yes. So
Oh,
there is a
here.
toggle you have to turn off because otherwise it will make every meeting you create an online meeting.
Got you. Thank you for that.
Yes. Yes, you can turn that off.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not kidding you. We have like 30 or 40 questions still left. And I know we're out of time, but we certainly we will try to work our way through all of these questions.
And we're going to do another session. So we have the transcript of your questions. So we're going to look through those and see if we can address those. And also keep asking on the teams, because maybe we can answer some of them in the meantime on the teams for people. You don't have to wait.